We got a special show here. Lance Briggs back in the house. Jerry Azumah coming on to this fine program. It's CHGO Bears After Dark. We're back, baby. Let's go. Welcome into a special edition of CHGO Bears After Dark. We are back after a little bit of a hiatus here in the offseason. I'm your host, Greg Briggs Jr. Alongside me is my guy, L Boogie, Lance Briggs, and joining the program here for the first time in our CHGO Sports studios, Jerry Azumah, number 2-3, baby.
Yes.
Yeah, let's get into
time.
it, guys. We're going to intro some new things that you're going to get this whole off season. We're going to have some fun, obviously getting to the draft and everything else. But Jerry, welcome here to the studios.
Thank you for having me, gentlemen.
Yes,
sir.
I
appreciate it.
Yes,
Finally.
sir. Yeah.
I mean,
Good to be here.
Yeah, it is. And you were a guest here on our show here last year, so it was fun to kind of get to know your story there. But for the people that are kind of new to the channel here in the off season, maybe talk about, what you've been up to and everything you've been doing.
Well, I haven't really been up to too much. Obviously, I have two little boys,
There you go.
Santiago and Valentino. So
Keeping you busy.
Yeah.
they're keeping me very busy. Travel baseball, travel soccer, swimming, flag football. I mean, the whole 9 yards. So
You coaching them?
I'm not coaching yet.
Yes.
I don't want to coach.
Yeah,
Actually, I
but
don't want to
but
coach.
the game
Everybody
needs you.
asks me. Everyone asks me, do I want to coach? And I'm like, no, not yet. Not yet.
All right. Like
So-
Jay-Z said, the game needs you.
I don't know. I don't know if they need me. I don't know if they need me. It's too many hours right now. Not like my time. I like my free time.
That's true.
Right. And it's the first day of spring, so it's summertime. We're going to be having fun with our family. So I guess, Azumah, before we get to Briggs, give us the dirt on L Boogie here. Now that you're here,
my
give
goodness,
us
so much
something.
dirt.
Your favorite story
much dirt.
from playing with
I mean-
Lance Briggs.
I remember this one time we went to church.
Yes.
But I've been knowing L Boogie for what, two decades, over 2 decades.
Yeah.
Played a lot of football together. You were my ace, my guy.
Yeah.
In terms of like stories and things like that, I don't have too many.
I'm sure we'll get him out of you
At
eventually.
all. I don't have too many at all. But something will probably come up down the line.
We will
We'll see.
we will
We'll
definitely
see
get
on
him
that.
out of you eventually. So Briggsy, my guy,
Well said.
welcome back.
Well said. man.
well said. My guy, welcome back,
man?
Briggsy.
Yeah.
How's everything going down in the fine state of Arizona?
Things
for
are
you?
good. Things are good. It's heating up in the desert. I stepped off the plane here and it was freezing.
Yeah.
It's cold.
Yeah.
All right. I saw a lot of snow covering the ground.
You wouldn't know
Yeah.
it's the first day of spring.
Yeah. But
You act like you don't know Chicago.
right. Well,
You know what-
Arizona got you.
You know what the
soft.
deal is.
it's tough because when I leave here, like I'm burning up sweating when I get off the plane, and then when I land here, I have to cover up. So it's tough.
Maybe just
during
move
these
back.
times. Yeah, I mean I'm here. I'm here.
Not stopping.
I'm
Maybe
always
just
here
move back.
in spirit.
Okay.
But we had the hockey championships in Arizona last week. So my youngest
Hockey
son,
in the desert, huh?
they do it all.
Okay.
They do it all, and they do it.
I mean,
They do it year long, and there's no ending of the seasons in Arizona.
It's a theme.
Right. So they had the hockey championships. They ended up winning the hockey championships, which was big. Baseball is in full swing now. My oldest son, he's all over the place. He thinks he's as strong as dad now. Walks around flexing. And he's just coming off of participating in wrestling.
Nice.
So it sometimes it gets physical in the household.
There you go. There you go.
He's active.
So let me ask you this, Lance. with Jerry here, you guys, obviously have a long history playing together.
Oh, yeah.
So tell me what it was like for you, getting to know him as a teammate and what that was like for you, that dynamic in the locker
here we
room.
go.
I'm going to give you a great example.
Yeah, gas him up. Gas him up. Let's get going here.
Of what it was like to be in the locker room with Jerry Azumah. Okay? So coming out of college, we didn't have NIL, so we were broke athletes. All right, we were broke student athletes. Let me miss out the student part. Okay, so when we get out and I'm in my first year, we get these checks. We get our checks maybe on Wednesday or Thursday, whatever it was. Okay, so my first check, I think it was maybe $6 or $7 grand. All right, and when I
we played way back in the day.
Yeah, way back. Right, my first check, I was like, whoa, like this is a lot of money, right? Yeah. This is a lot, right? So me and the rookies, we're talking about our nice little checks. Jerry comes over. He looks at my check, and he said, that's not a check.
This is not true, by the way. This is not true.
A check. And I'm thinking, I'm like, yo, it is. He slides his check over into my face. He said, that's a check. There was a lot more zeros on his than there was on mine.
No.
And I was like, it is a check.
My first year was 1999. All right, so it wasn't a lot of zeros.
That's right.
We were too early. I was just a little too early.
Yeah.
Coming out of the University of New Hampshire.
University of New Hampshire, yeah, UNH. It was actually really, really special being at UNH. I mean, really enjoyed my time there as a running back, which a lot of people just don't really know. I was a running back my whole life, and then went to the combine. And then that's where they figured out, wait a minute, this dude could be possibly a defensive back. And I was like, defensive back? What the hell is that? I go forward pretty well. Yeah. Let's keep it going. But went to the combine, did well there, and then a lot of guys actually came back to me and they said, you know what? There's a buzz that you can possibly be a defensive back. So that's what started the motion of maybe I can be a defensive back at the next level.
Let me ask you this. If you had played defensive back through your years in college, how much better do you think you would have been in your transitioning from college to the pros?
Well, I mean, it would have been night and day. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't even thinking of that. Right. So in high school, I mean, I played defensive back, but I never backpedaled. I just lined up deep and just came downhill and then crushed people.
Right.
So that was, I think that's what everybody used to do.
That's what playmakers do.
Yeah, but I mean, I was always a running back, and I knew nothing about like special teams. I mean, obviously I did returns, but that's the only special teams that I did. I wasn't going down there and hitting people. And then on top of that, I was a running back. So I was like, running back, just no way I'm backpedaling. Why would I go backwards when I can go forward? Yeah.
Block
really well.
Yes.
Yeah,
kick him out.
I think as Doug Plank once called it, he's like, it's like a motorcycle hitting an ice cream truck coming downhill like that. I thought that was a great explanation for that. So, Jerry, I'll throw this to you then. Coming into the Bears, Lance starts coming into the locker room as a young, fresh rookie with all that energy. So for you, when he came in, and all those guys started to come in, what was that like, that transition to what you guys eventually started to become? I mean,
playing ball with Lance was actually awesome. It was awesome. I mean, I remember when he first came in, he was this dude, kind of scrawny. I mean, he definitely didn't weigh what he's weighing right now. A little less gray, but he had a motor, and that's what jumped off the board right away was his motor. So we were watching film, and we would see Lance just making plays like left and right, and it seemed like this dude never got tired. But the way that he pursued, the football was just off the charts. And then working with, another, obviously, Hall of Famer with Brian Urlacher, I mean, it just worked really well. And we were like, thank God this dude is on our team because he can make a lot of plays, and he did. And turned out to be my brother.
That's fun.
And it was a fun time, being basically on next to him on the football field.
Yeah, when Lance has always taught last year talking so much about, like, hey, he came in with a chip on his shoulder. He should have been a first-round pick, right?
I mean, we all should have.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all should have.
Those checks would have looked a lot nicer.
I mean, listen, from where I come from, that $6 grand that was big. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That was a lot of money, and I spent it.
It wasn't fast. 6. It wasn't 6.
It was a little lighter than that, probably. No, that's great. So. Jerry, obviously the history of 23 in the city.
It's pretty good.
How much did that resonate with you? I mean, 23 for me, obviously, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. I grew up on the school of Jordan, born in 85, right when he came into the city.
Yeah.
Ryan Sandberg, Devin Hester, obviously, Ryan. You got Jermaine Dye and Robin Venter on the White Sox side.
2-3 has been a good number in Chicago.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, when I first got to the Bears, my number was 46. A lot of people don't know that either. I know it was a heavy number. I was a target. So as a DB, as a corner, you can't have a 46 on your jersey. That is ridiculous.
That typically means that's the beginning of the end for you.
The ball is coming that way. You're gonna get picked on.
That means you're on the 90-man roster.
And that's what they did. They did
not
pick
the 53.
They picked on me a lot. I mean, they were looking my way all the time. They were like, "Where's the running back at?" And I was like, damn, they're just so disrespectful. I got to go out there and try to punish somebody. And that's what I did. I was just going out there. I didn't really know what I was doing at the time. You know what I'm saying? Because this is all brand new.
It's all new.
All brand new. But I knew that if I had my opportunity to hit somebody, I was going to do that.
Yeah.
By the time I was playing football with you, Jerry, I didn't know that you were a running back first.
Yeah.
I was just like, damn, you're a damn good nickel. You're a damn good nickel, you know what I mean? And the way that you moved, I assumed that you had been doing this your whole entire life. So it's a
little
really
secret.
impressive.
I didn't know what I was doing at all.
Well, hey,
I was just trying to stay in front of a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Well, Briggsy had, on that pick six in Dallas, he had some nice little running back moves. They had a little juke and go.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a running back in what? Pee Wee? Pop Warner?
In college.
Oh, in college?
In college. I didn't have as many yards as you, but I did run the ball. I did run the ball too.
And I mean, talk about that for you guys. So like that adjustment when a coach comes to you, you have a vision for your own careers, right? Yeah. And then they change it up on you, and you got to adjust. And then not only adjust, but then take that to a NFL level of success.
Yeah, Braggs, I'm going to tell you exactly what my adjustment was. My adjustment was I come into the University of Arizona, and the starting middle linebacker is coming off an All-American year. Mm-hmm. All right, Marcus Bell. And the coach tells me, he goes, hey, listen, we want you to redshirt. Lance, we want you to redshirt along with all the other guys, and my first thing went in my head, I was like, I just got out of 4 years of schooling.
Right.
You want me to do 5?
Why would we do that?
I was like, no. I'm going to go out and I'm going to figure out a way that I only need to do 4, not an additional 5. That was my whole thinking on it. You know what I mean? So
another year of school? No way.
No.
I thought Arizona's a fun school, though.
It is a fun school, but
it's not that
not
much
when
fun.
you're practicing every day.
No, it's different. Yeah, the athletes, a lot of people don't understand too. They're like, "Oh, you just play sports, you just do this." We were up at 6, and we weren't done with our day until 10, 11 each day.
Right.
So our daily life was not easy.
Right. Now I was up at 6 a.m., but that's because I was up from the night before. Still drinking.
There you go.
A lot of people just don't understand that. A lot of people think that, what we do on the football field just kind of happens, but they don't understand all the preparation and work that goes behind all of that stuff. Woo. And the amount of time and effort that goes into this stuff. I mean, we're talking about hours on hours of film studying, meetings, and then more film studying, and then more meeting. And I'm just like, damn, like this is a lot of work. And then on top of that, going to practice and then weight room, get your nutrition right, go and work out and get your rehab right. Like there's a lot of work that goes into it. And, I would get into the building like around 6:15 and then I wouldn't leave till probably about 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. So it's a full days of work. Oh, yeah. Full day of work.
Yep. You guys earned it. No doubt about it. And that's what led you here to Chicago to play for our beloved
That's what
Chicago
gets us our
Bears.
$6,000.
Yeah. Cutting in checks, baby. So we're going to take a quick timeout. When we get back on the other side of it, we're going to talk about, obviously what's been going on this offseason, get their insight. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter pod for you guys to enjoy. We're going to keep doing this here throughout the offseason. We'll have these guys trade more stories of some good times back in the day, and obviously be talking about this Bears season that's coming up and doing a lot of other fun stuff here this offseason with these guys. So let's take a quick break here, Steven, and when we come back, we'll get to all of that. Want to give a shout-out to our diehards. Obviously, this is a great time here this offseason to become a diehard. at allchgo.com/diehards. When you sign up, QR code here on your screen. And, we're doing a draft database with Fran Duffy, our all-city draft analyst. He's updating this thing every day. It's gotten extensive since he's come back from the Combine. Fran Duffy joins us every Wednesday on this show, on CHGO Bears, I should say, and gives a lot of great insight there as well. And, obviously Adam Hogue's written content comes along with that as well, exclusive to you. And then as well as Discord channel, merchandise. You get a free shirt right out the gate. So many great perks. Discounts on events. We got tailgates throughout the season, every home game. And then we also have our draft party coming up here on April 24th and April 25th at 115 Bourbon Street in Marionette Park, presented by CHGO Sports. With your ticket, you get all you can eat buffet, all you can drink beers, wines, and wells. If you are a diehard, you get 20% off on your ticket to that. Last year's, there was like 400 fans there for the first night. It was crazy.
It's amazing.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So we're hoping for another big turnout. Obviously, the Bears with the number 10 pick this year, not the number 1, and it'll certainly be interesting to see where they go with that. And so that's where I take it to you guys. And Lance, I'll start with you, man. Obviously, we were going through it at the end of last year, doing shows each week. Bears losing 10 games in a row. It got ugly, and a lot of fans' trust for this organization started to dissipate.
Yeah.
And since then, since the last time we talked, hire Ben Johnson, one of the top head coaching candidates, $13 million a year. That's a lot of money for a head coach. They built a coaching staff that seems to be pretty respectable. Eric Bieniemy, Antoine Randall, Al Harris, whole bunch of other guys, Dan Rorschach on the offensive line. And then they go into free agency, add all these offensive linemen, 3 interior offensive linemen, and then some defensive linemen as well. So just curious where you're at. The vibe check now.
Oh, yeah.
Are the Bears starting to gain your trust
I'm
here?
glad you did it. They're doing a decent job. They're doing a decent job. I think that says a lot for any Bear fan after the last couple of years in the offseason.
Right.
There's been over the last couple of off seasons, Bear fans have gone crazy over this move and that move, and oh my God, we're gonna be in it. We're this and that. I think when I say they're doing a decent job, I think that's fair for this organization.
So I should preface this, Zuma.
I agree.
And I should preface this. Lance is very hard on the Bears.
As he should.
He stays on their neck.
You know what it is?
Times.
It's love. That's what it is.
There it
It's
is.
a lot of love.
There
you know
it
what I'm
is.
saying? Like, if you do something really good, we'd be the first ones to pat you on your back.
Right.
But if you do something bad, we got to talk about you now.
Yeah.
We got to talk about you. And that's just what it is. That's just love.
Yeah.
And
It's a lot of love.
And you can't go out and destroy the offseason, but not show up for the actual season.
Right.
We're here.
Right.
We're here to prepare for the season.
We're the 3-time offseason champs here.
Champs,
back to back
champs.
to back, baby.
Woo! Undefeated.
The rings are big.
Never
The rings are
never,
big.
Never,
The
never
rings are
lost.
big and bright.
Yo,
But I agree with you on that. They are doing a decent job. I mean, it's time to do the non-sexy picks.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for a couple of years, we did the sexy picks.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But now it's time to build those trenches, because we know as football players and as fans, football's built through the trenches. So we got to get that right. And we can't see Caleb Williams on his back like that again.
You can't.
I mean, it was over, 60-something?
68
That is
times.
absolutely ridiculous. So we
Insane.
got to sew it up front and make sure that we get this thing going. And also, I like the fact that Ben Johnson is more of like a running coach. I feel like the running game is going to come back.
It's
And
coming,
I
yeah.
like that. And I think that
I
helps
love
the
it.
offensive line too, because it gets the offensive line on the hunt.
Hunt.
It gets a hat on a hat. It gets the
Yes.
nasty out. And that is Bears football. That's how I remember it.
Yep.
And we need to go back to that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll always go back to Jason McKee at fullback, Thomas Jones leading the way.
Yes.
And you knew Bears lining up in the I formation, opening drive. They're going to run it 9 straight times.
They're gonna run
and
it.
we'll
Yes.
see if you can stop it.
Yes.
And I think the Saints in the NFC Championship, I think you guys literally ran the same play 9 straight times, essentially, and walked into the end zone for a touchdown.
Well, you're missing out on one fine little detail there, right?
Yes, sir.
Defense always took the field first.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Yes,
because
sir.
we had to set the tone.
Yeah.
We were going to get the ball back to our offense, whether it was going to be in the end zone or whether we're just going to get the ball back and have they be in good field position.
Right.
But we want to set that tone, and then our offense, you can run the same play 9 times in a row.
Yeah.
Right.
Just don't give the ball. Just don't turn it over.
That's all we ask.
That's all we ask.
Don't give that ball over. Don't give it back to him.
Yeah.
Possess that ball, and we're going to be okay.
Yeah, and obviously Bears fans just always, including myself, we get so obsessed with the offense and how we're going to get Caleb Williams to be this superstar quarterback. It's like the Cubs winning a World Series. It's like that ghost we're chasing. One day, the unicorn that we can finally have a quarterback. But defense wins championships. The Eagles just won by just making the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes' life miserable on that defensive line.
We could have had that guy, right? Jalen Carter?
We could have had him.
Could have had Jalen Carter, but now we're eyes forward, and you've got
That's a good one. That's
forward.
a good one.
You just got censored.
And you bring in Dio Odangbo from the Indianapolis Colts, kind of an unknown guy, right? And trying to find his way and make a name for himself in this league still, and he's still a younger guy. But then you bring in Grady Jarrett, a veteran defensive tackle at 34 years old.
I like that.
And Jerry, I mean, you came in at 1999, right? Well, we all remember when Ted Washington and Keith Traylor came in 2001 to the Bears.
The two plug players.
Right. 40, they're veteran players, right? But talk about that kind of veteran presence that can come in when they still got some gas left in the tank.
I mean, well, first of all, I think the defense on the Chicago Bears is very young. So they do need that leadership right away. And I think that what they're doing in free agency is the right thing. They're bringing guys that have been around, that are veterans, that can help the young guys out. But yeah, like I said before, it all starts up front in those trenches. So I think that, with the cover 2 system that they're going to run and the zone dog pressures and things like that, you have to have an incredible nose guard /3 technique. That's where the base of the defense starts. Right. And if you have that, then you can start to build around that. Get the right linebacker in the right positions, and then obviously a free safety that's rangy or a strong safety that can come down and pop people. But it starts up front in those trenches. And I think that they're on their way to rebuilding that line, which is much needed, and everything else will fall into place.
Don't skip steps.
Right.
You know what I mean? I believe don't skip steps, and so when I say that is if you have an opportunity, your 3 tech's he's going to create for everybody else. Your nose is going to create for your 3 technique. All right. Your edge rushers, because you're getting interior pressure, your edge rushers are going to hit home.
Yeah.
When you are at your peak defensively, you can have a back 7 in coverage and rush with just 4.
Right.
That's when and then you stop the run with the 7-man front, which means you're more powerful in your pass defense than you are in your run. But because you can play it both, you are the most effective defense. Those are the types that go to Super Bowls and win championships.
Right. Well, and as I said, the Eagles proved that last year, right? They got home with 4, and all them guys got paid checks that were cutting more than $6,000 a week.
Did you see what the Phillies? Yes. That's
a week?
Hey, we
just
come a long way.
We come a long way.
Some of us had to pave the way.
That's right.
So the guys can get 45 tackles a year and get paid, 70 million.
Yes, I think I heard Bond giving a shout out to you for paving the way for him, getting that check in there. So yeah, it'll be interesting here as we go through it. I mean, a couple weeks from now, the Bears have an early OTA because you have a first-year head coach, so they're able to get in that building and as a team here a little faster than you're normally used to this offseason. So we're going to continue to do these shows throughout the offseason and talk about this leading up to the draft, what the Bears should do at the number 10 pick and beyond. Obviously, the second round, you got 2 picks there as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun here. We're going to continue to have fun with these guys, and we appreciate everyone continuing to tune in. CHGO Bears After Dark. Any final thoughts here before we take off, Jerry Azumah?
Final thoughts. We need you guys to stay with us with the Chicago Bears. We need those. We need all that support that we can get.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All the support that we can get, we need it.
Well, the good thing for that comment you just said is most Bear fans have some sort of tattoo on their body. So it's going to take a process to get it removed. So might as well just stick around.
Well, and they definitely stick with us. I mean, we had a couple guys when we were in London last year a guy had a CHGO Bears tattoo
Nice.
on his arm.
That's dedication right there.
That's dedication,
Nice.
and that's the kind of community we've built here. So they're already sticking with us, and I know they'll continue to, and our community will continue to grow, and our family is continuing to grow. Lance Briggs back in the house, and now Jerry Azumah here hanging out with us. A real pleasure, and I'm looking forward here to the rest of the offseason with you guys. So that wraps things up for today. Short one for you guys to enjoy. Couple weeks, we'll reconvene, come back, get into some draft talk and some other fun stuff. So excited for all that. Shout out to Steven for producing the show here today.
Good job, Steve.
Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Obviously, become a diehard at allchgo.com/diehard as well. And we will see you here next week or a couple weeks from now. But obviously, CHGO Bears every day, Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. Central. So, as I like to say, keep your head up, but
And
always
Bear
down.
Bear down.
We all silly like the mayor.